There's a lot of people today. So I played pawn to c5, the Sicilian defense. And now my opponent played the move knight to f3, and I played pawn to d6. My opponent played pawn to d4. I take, knight f6, knight c3, and I played pawn to a6. So can anybody tell me what the name of this opening is?
Dragon Sicilian.
No, this is not the dragon.
Playing good.
Dragon would be pawn to g6. I played the move pawn to a6.
I remember this. I don't remember the name, but I know
Uh,
the
Actually,
Night
what do you
Off.
call it?
Is it the night off?
Yeah, so this is Sicilian knight off. Yeah. I don't know if you guys cheated or not, but it says it here. And you can see I'm very comfortable with this position. I've had it 245 times. And that's just on this account, which... So I'm very comfortable with this this position. So I know exactly what's happening. And my opponent played bishop to e3, which is the main line. And this is called the English attack variation. So bishop to e3 is the main move, but here the reason why this is such a crazy line is because here white can play anything. They can play a4, h3, a4. Every single move here is in the theory book. Like I think Magnus Carlsen has even played a3 before. He's even played like queen to e2, something. There's also pawn to g3, so you have to know a lot of theory if you play this opening. But my opponent played main line, which is bishop to e3. And now I respond with the main move, which is pawn to e5. Let's go to... When I'm analyzing my games, I don't like to use the Lichess database because you can see the average rating is 1900, which is not that good. But if I go here to Masters database, you can see the average rating is 2300, and this is FIDE rating, whereas this one is Lichess rating. So I always use the Masters database when I'm analyzing my games. And my opponent played knight to f3, which is not the main move. The main move, you can see 85% of the time, knight to b3 is played. But my opponent chose to play the move knight to f3. And this is also still theory, but I won't lie to you guys. From this point, I'm out of book. I have not studied knight to f3. Or I remember I had like this in my notes somewhere, this move knight to f3. But I could really not remember it in the game. One thing I could remember is that this has been played against me before, one time in like 2018. I was playing a guy from Zimbabwe, a CM. And I remember I put my bishop here at some point in the game. And the whole time I was worried about this move knight to g5, which it seemed pretty annoying to me because if I like protect the bishop, I'm just gonna lose a bishop. And if I move the bishop, he's gonna hit me with this move bishop to c4, and I'm in big trouble. So I was remembering bishop e6, knight g5, and I was thinking, okay, what else am I gonna do then? And yeah, you can see bishop e6 is not a good move. Played only 1% of the time, so I chose to play bishop to e7, just switching up my move order, and we're gonna see what happens. So now he played bishop to c4, and I just castled, and he also castled. And we're in a pretty reasonable position now. Not much is happening. And there is one way that black can lose the game instantly, which This has happened to me a couple of times online, especially in bullets, because you see this move pawn to b5, it looks like such a natural move. But pawn to b5, you just lose after bishop d5 because takes, the rook is trapped, which is kind of crazy. The rook is completely trapped. So pawn to b5, which looks like a very natural move, is actually a huge blunder here. Which got me thinking, okay, what are my other options? If I don't go pawn to b5, what else am I gonna do? The bishop normally goes to e6, but now if I go bishop e6, I'm giving myself a very, very weak pawn on e6. So I thought maybe bishop g4, but that's not the square the bishop's supposed to be on. So I said, let me just play knight to d7, and next I'm gonna play b5 and put my bishop on b7. So you can see my thought process here. I had I had a couple of candidate moves. I had this, I had bishop out, and I had knight out. And I saw, okay, b5 doesn't work because bishop d5 and I just lose a rook because my rook is trapped. And the bishop doesn't look very natural on g4. This looks like it looks like an okay move, but I saw I'd rather put my bishop on b7. Also, I apologize for these arrows, by the way. I don't know how to turn them off. If anybody knows, that would be pretty helpful. So I thought the bishop would be better on b7 than on g4. So that's why I played the move knight to d7, just preparing my move pawn to b5. And okay, he played queen to e2. He did nothing about this. I thought maybe he should have played pawn to a4, which would have stopped my b5 idea completely. And now that I'm looking at it, the master's database also recommends pawn to a4. But okay, queen to e2 was played. Now I played pawn to b5. This is no longer a threat at all because my rook has an escape square. And also I could just take the bishop. So I played pawn to b5. He played bishop to b3. And now I played bishop to b7. And I'm putting some massive pressure on the pawn. And this looks like a very equal-ish position. I want to tell you guys, the game ended in 10 moves. 10 moves from now, the game was over. But I would say I'm out of the opening now because all my pieces are developed. My king is safe. So now I'm in the mid game. Move number 11. My opponent played bishop to g5, which I actually like this move. It protects his pawn. And in some cases, like for example, let me make a random move. Rook here. If he takes and I take with the bishop, there's some positions where he gets something called a good knight versus a bad bishop position, where this knight just completely dominates my whole bishop. So, but obviously it would be, if he took, I would take back with the knight and cover all of that. But after bishop g5, I actually did play rook c8. This is the most logical move. I'm just putting my rook on an open file. And now he played knight to d2. And immediately I thought this is a mistake because, well, I've never seen this idea before, firstly. And remember, if I go back to move 6, where is it here? You can see I've had this position 236 times and I've never seen this sort of idea before. So already I knew it was a mistake. Wait, where's my line? What happened in the game? I went knight f3. And then I played bishop e7. And then here I played knight to d7. So I should promote this variation so I don't get lost. This is where the game was. Okay, let me promote this. Okay, there we go. And after rook to c8, he played knight to d2. And I did not think this was a good move. And I remember my chess coach, I used to be coached by IM Daniel Caudry. And when I was studying Najdorf with him, he told me, anytime you can play the move pawn to d5, you play pawn to d5. I can't play pawn to d5 now because white has three pieces attacking the square, and I only have two pieces defending. But how can I remove one of the defenders of the d5 square? Very simple. I play pawn to b4, kicking the knight away. And after pawn to b4, I was expecting him to go, oh wait, knight d5 doesn't work here because of this tactic where I attack the bishop and the knight defends at the same time. So okay, knight d5 doesn't actually work here. So he played knight to d1. And you can see he went from 2 moves ago having a normal position to having all his knights on the back rank after this move. So after knight to d1, now I have my chance to play d5, so I played it straight away. This is sacrificing a pawn, but you'll notice that this pawn is really not important at all. My opponent played bishop takes knight. I take back with the knight to keep my pawn defended. I can also take with the bishop, but then I'm going to lose this pawn. So I took back with the knight. Knight takes f6. He took my pawn in the center. And yeah, obviously I calculate I'm going to lose my pawn, but I'm completely not worried about that at all. So I take with the knight, and my opponent grabbed my pawn after a little think, but I think even if he doesn't take my pawn, next I'm going to go knight to f4, and I'm hitting him with some wild stuff. So he took my pawn. And now in this position, I know there has to be a tactic somewhere because it's impossible for me to not have some way to win. And immediately I'm looking at the queen. I thought maybe bishop f6, put the bishop on this diagonal. But I thought, okay, it's actually better for me to play bishop to d6, put the bishop on this diagonal, and also possibly move my knight to f4. For example, if my opponent played queen to e2, I would just hit him with knight to f4. And the double attack is just gonna, this knight is gonna checkmate him. So my opponent found the best move in this position, queen to e4, which the reason this is the best move is because I can't move my knights because the bishop is pinned. Also, he is attacking my knight. Here I played a cheeky move. I played the move bishop to a8, and you might think, well, can he not just take this knight for free? But if he takes the knight, I'm going to take back, queen takes, and then I hit him with this tactic, check, and his queen is not defended. So I just played bishop to a8. My idea is that now I want to play knight to f4. My bishop's going to be protected. And yeah, actually, here's where I think my opponent made the mistake of the game. I told him after the game he should have taken, and after I take, instead of taking my bishop, he should play something like queen to d3. But this looks very, very scary. My bishops are eyeing his king, and he doesn't really have much defense. So I sacrificed the pawn to get to this position. But yeah, my opponent decided he wants to keep his bishop on. Oh, I think someone disconnected. He wants to keep his bishop on, so he played the move knight to f3, which I think this is a huge blunder because after knight to f3, I play knight to f4, discovered attack on his queen, and he played queen to f5. And okay, yeah, guys, the game ended in 2 moves. Try and find the move that I played. The game, my opponent resigned in 2 moves. Also, please put it in the chat so that we don't give the answer away to everybody. The direct chat, you guys know how to do that, right? Okay, there's a message in the chat. I think it was a troll message though. Okay, somebody got the answer. And yeah, so I played the move bishop takes f3. And after he takes back with the pawn, what move should I play now? He resigned after I made this move. Let's see what the chat is saying. Oh, does anybody want me to analyze one of their games, by the way? You can either, send a link to your game that you played, if it was an online game, or you can send me a picture of your notation if you have the notation with you. Otherwise, we'll analyze your game. But what move should I play here? Knight, someone said knight to e2 check. This is not bad, but my knight is on a beautiful, beautiful square. Another person, does it have to be a lead chess game or can it be chess.com? Chess.com is fine as well. Someone else said queen to h4, which is not the move either. I'll give you guys a hint. Basically, if I play queen to g5, it's checkmate. If I play queen to g5 and my queen couldn't be taken, it would just be checkmate. So, how can I protect the g5 square, basically? How can I protect the g5 square? That's the hint I will give you guys. There we go. Sarul got the answer now. I'll give you guys like 30 more seconds for people who still want to answer it. But we need to protect the g5 square. Okay, there's more chats coming in. There we go. A lot of people. Henku said pawn to h6, but okay, wait. This protects g5, but at the same time, it doesn't help us play the move queen to g5, because, for example, if h6, queen g5, it would still not be checkmate. So we need to We need to go queen g5 with the threat of checkmate being there. It's okay, I will give the answer. There we go. Now Henku got it. I played the move rook to c5. And my opponent just resigned because, I mean, if he moves his queen, I'm going queen to g5 checkmates. And if he moves his queen to here, I go rook g5 and I win his queen. So that was a very nice game to start off the tournament for me. Actually, I want to check my accuracy here. Let me check my accuracy really quick. If you guys didn't know, you can check your accuracy on Lichess for games. That's why I would recommend playing it. Look at that. 99% accuracy. Oh, never mind. 98%. Wait, it went back to 99. Okay, wait. 92. Apparently there was a blunder. Oh, bishop to a8 is a blunder. What was my best move here? Oh, I can just go rook e8 and attack his queen. I didn't think about that. I won't lie. Wait, rook e8 and he goes queen here. Okay, that's would have been basically a free move, but I didn't look at that move. But okay, I still got a 92% accuracy. My opponent got 76. So okay, that's not bad at all. And I can stop the recording now as well.